Hey tubers, what's going on? I know you probably are wondering, why is he working on the rat rod radio flyer again? I thought he said he's going to stop for a while. It's just kind of a matter of what we got going on, I guess. I'm going to tweak a couple things here today. One, the last time I drove it to confirm the centrifugal clutch was out. Disc brake, the key slid out of it, and so it wasn't really stopping, so I'm going to slide a key back in the keyway, probably tack weld that. Shifter linkage works fine, it's just I'm going to put a cotter pin on this side of the shifter, just a little detail thing. So I'll drill that out, put a cotter pin in there. But yeah, it works good. Potentially I should probably do that on the back as well. I don't know if I have any. If I have any cotter pins, I think I only have one. And then lastly, got some different hypotheses on why I burnt up that clutch in the first place. I previously thought I had the drivetrain too loose, so I tightened that up before going on my camping trip. There's a hypothesis out there that maybe I had it too tight, and it's putting too much strain on the centrifugal clutch just to get it going. And as you guys might know, I've got it geared for top end speed. So to fix that, I think what I'm going to do is swap out on my jack shaft the two sprockets from this side to the other, and I think that's going to help me with a little bit of takeoff. Sure, I'll lose a little bit on the high end, the top end, but when I test drove it that first time, I don't know how much I'm really going to lose, because I think it was geared way too high, that the motor just didn't have enough power and RPMs to kind of like ever take advantage of those two together. So when it's getting way up there, so while I might theoretically lose a little on the top end, I think it might balance it out and be a little more suited for the 5 horsepower. Again, here's how its setup is right now. I think this is like an 11 tooth, and I think we're up to somewhere around 17 over here. As you can see, a problem I might be running into is the clearance with the rail here. So I'm probably going to cut out a little bit of metal here so that this sprocket can pass. The other thought is, I guess I could shift the motor over this way. The only problem is I'm not sure I can get far enough over from these holes, but I guess I could just consciously just go like a quarter of an inch over from these. I don't know. I mean, I do have some problems with the way they are right now. Some of these are pretty tight with the steering shaft, but I'm not so sure I'm gonna. I think it's gonna be easier just to cut out of my frame rail and then box it back in, rather than mess with these guys. We shall see. So you can see how tight I have the chain. From what I've heard, though, you want about like a quarter of an inch of play, and so like maybe I have it just about right. I don't know. But we swap out sprockets, then of course this gets smaller, and so maybe that'll help me out. Maybe that'll make this not as tight. So yeah, but hey, we'll see. Alright, so here we are, back installed. And like I said, I'm going to leave this one. I drilled it out, but I don't have any other cotter pins. I'm going to do that style right there, because I got to, pull this out and lean back this lever when I store it up against the wall. Okay, so I was able to swap the reverse side sprocket here. No problems. And here's the new centrifugal clutch. Now, one of the things I read online was there's kind of mixed bags of results of whether or not you can flip the centrifugal clutch sort of inside out. That's how I had the old one. And there's nothing saying that you necessarily can't. It's just it has to be a bi-directional clutch. Now, I looked up online. I couldn't tell if that was the case with this or not. So we've moved the sprocket outboard of the chassis, and I was able to get it to work without resizing the chain. Although I'm going to have to re-drill the back motor mounts further back. The motor had to shift backwards in order for this to happen. So I was also reading online a BMI Carts website. They suggest a 1:6 ratio from how many teeth you have here to the back, and after swapping gears around, if I've done the math right, I'll have like a 1 to 4.5 ratio. So definitely getting better now. I think the way it used to be, so that's a 12 tooth. I believe the other side's a 12 or an 11. So you had 1 to 1 here, and then this is 18 tooth, and then the back is like somewhere between 40 to 43. But so if you do the math, I mean we were barely over 1 to 2 previously. We were over it, but just not by a whole bunch. Let's see, 18 into, let's just say it was 40. So 18 times 2 is 36, and then 4 teeth out of 18 is about a quarter. So it wasn't even probably 1 to 2 1/4 ratio before. So this should help out quite a bit. And again, I put the clutch on the right way this time just to alleviate that as a potential. So I doubt we get this whole thing back together today and running. Unless I want okay, so I got everything accomplished today that I want. And here's a look at the other side. The jack shaft, smaller sprocket here on this side. Now, I fear this is now again too loose. You can see how much play there is. So I'm thinking I'll probably end up doing something back up here at some point, but I think I'm going to take it for a test drive just to see how it reacts. I redid the back holes so that the motor could slide back. Thought I had enough in the front, but you can maybe see this one is a little bit off. There you go. So just for the test drive, we're going to go with 3 bolts, and I'm just running out of patience here on a Sunday. So again, I'm going to jerry rig a string for the throttle, and as for my path, I think I'm just going to try to go to this little cul-de-sac here and turn around, just based on what happened the last go around. So I don't want to get too far down the road. Alright, so we're going to see how bad the chain whips before we get going. We have some smoke coming off the clutch still, and I'm not sure what gets there. I don't know if it's just oil is burning off, but needless to say, I don't think I'm going to run it anymore like this. Oh yeah, that's hot. So I guess we'll need more gearing. It's weird because it didn't immediately pick up the speed faster than the old setup, but then once you got going a little bit, then it took off. I think you could see it accelerated certainly better than the old setup, but I'm hoping I got good footage on that. You may have seen it didn't turn worth a darn. So the understeer is even worse than what it was. So leave a comment, I guess. See what you think I need to change. I'm guessing I just need to get closer at 1:6 ratio. So yeah. Well, hey, till next time. Peace out.